Hi, this is Chaplain Cap. I am the American Wrangler, and as we come into the late fall, early winter time, I always try to be very prepped and ready for any possible power outages, cold times, or just simply camping or spending time outside where I might need an emergency set to keep me warm in case the power goes out or I'm off grid and I'm out somewhere. I can carry this little unit with me. I'm going to show you guys how to make it. There's a couple of ways you can do it. I'm going to kind of go over all of them, but I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it, but also this one costs a little bit more money to do. You can also do it a cheaper route, and I'll also explain that one. But all you're going to do, this is called a hobo can. Alright, a lot of the hobos during the 1920s, when they were traveling, trying to find work, they would look up and they would try to find junk to keep them warm, to keep them able to survive during the cold elements that they might have traveled in. And this is just the old number 5 can. I think at one time it might have had peas or something in it. I'm not really sure, but it's just an old can that I found along the railroad tracks, and so I've burned it out pretty good, but this part's not really going to matter. This is just a chili can that I made some chili the other day out of the can, and this is just a chili can, and I'll show you how to use that in a little bit. You can go and buy Crisco, and if you look on there, you'll see on that Crisco you see a little flame over the eye. That means that it's flammable. Crisco all vegetable shortening is a great clean source of fire. Now I'm outside, I'm not inside, so if I was inside using this, I'd want to make sure I had my smoke detector and my carbon monoxide sensors on, maybe have a window open somewhere in the cabin, but just to keep myself safe. But if I'm outside, I know that I got plenty of ventilation for this. Now I'm going to show you how this works and plays in together in just a little bit, but for right now we're going to start with the building process. Now my can is empty at the time, and I went over to the riverbed that's behind me and I dug out some sand. There's lots of sand and dirt next to the riverbed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dump quite a bit in here. I'm going to fill out that bottom really nice. Doesn't matter if it's wet or whatever. Just get it in there good. And what you're trying to do is I want to put my can inside. Now I know that I got quite a bit of room. I still got about this much room to go, so I'm going to take that out and I'm just going to keep filling that thing up with dirt and sand until I have all that I need. And sometimes I might have to go back in there and take some out, but you can always take some out. I'm going to take this in there now, and now I've got about this far from the top, and I'm going to put just a little bit more sand in there because I want this thing to kind of be just on the upper edge. What this is going to do, the sand is actually going to get warm. It's going to help radiate some heat. We'll put this in the center there, and now if you look really close, I'm right at the top edge, and that's where I want to be. So I'm going to center that out pretty good, and since I've got my area marked, I'm going to take my lid off, and then the Crisco has a little metal foil on there, so you take that off. You don't want that. And then you can go to Walmart or any kind of sporting goods, and you can usually find these lantern wicks. Usually about 5 come in a pack, and they're like $4. This can of Crisco, if you buy it at the store, is about $2, $3. But I'm going to take my wick, and I'm going to take my Crisco, and I'm going to find me a stick, or in this case this piece of metal, and I'm going to put that right in the center, and I'm going to push this thing down as close to the center as I can possibly get it. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my Crisco and I'm going to put it all around my wick right there. Saturate that pretty good. And then I'm going to push this down a little bit more. I don't need a whole lot of that wick on the surface, just enough for the flame to be there. And I'm going to put that back in there. And I'm going to take my top that was already on there, and I'm just going to stick it over the top of this thing. Now you can also, if you don't want to use that whole can of Crisco, you can take that Crisco and you can dump it inside this can, and it's the same process that I just did. And then also you can use this inside there and just leave it open, and you can stick kindling and a little bit small pieces of wood in here, and that can be your fire, and it'll be a little bit shorter of a duration of fire, but you'll still have some fire. Now once I've got this in there like that, I'm going to take my sand, and I want to cover this up so that I don't get inside my my Crisco there, but I'm going to put sand all around it. I want to put that sand all around that. I want to make it all the way around the sides. Pack it in there a little bit. I want to get it all the way around, and I'm going to go almost all the way to the top. And remember, you can always go to the top and then just spread it out accordingly and get it off your top there. Because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find a stick or something, and you want to take that stick and you want to just push that dirt down. You can use your fingers, push that dirt down, because you don't want there to be any air pockets down in there. And I need a little bit more dirt, so I'm going to put some more dirt in here. And I'm just going to do this until I've got dirt all the way around the can, and I've got it nice and packed in. Sometimes you got to pull some debris that didn't need to be in there out. And you're just going to want to make sure you pack it all the way around it. Use that extra dirt to go around the side. And it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Remember, this is a survival heating source, so you ain't got to be precise. You just need to have the right makeup. Alright, so I'm going to move this excess out of there. I don't want it to get down in my Crisco, but I'm going to move that around. And then I'm going to take make sure that I got it where I need it, poking it down. And this takes a little bit of a process, but it's worth it in the end. Alright, and then once I get there, I'm going to reach down in there and I'm going to pop my my lid back off. But I'm gonna hold on to that lid for later. Now that's a plastic lid, so you don't want to put this on a hot flame because it's gonna melt. And in that case, just find you a top, some type that'll fit over there, and like this one will fit over the top of that, and that's what I would use for that. So I'm gonna put that in there, and then I'm gonna take my lighter, and I'm gonna light this thing, and I'm gonna get that wick going. That's gonna start pulling that. It's gonna start pulling that Crisco. Your Crisco is gonna be your candle. So your Crisco is gonna be what's burning, and and if you leave this burning, you can leave it burning for a couple hours, and it's gonna give you some source of heat. Now, something else I wanted to show you. I've got these pieces of metal wire, and I can put this over in 3 different spots. I want to kind of make a triangle. And when I make my triangle there, then I can take my coffee cup or whatever it is, and I can put my coffee cup right over, and it'll sit on top of there, and I can make me a cup of coffee, I can make me some food, I can do whatever I need to do. Now this is burning pretty good now. I can already feel some heat off of it. Now obviously my can here is cold to the touch. The longer I let this burn, the hotter this is going to be. That's why I've made me little holes on the side and put another piece of metal on there so I can make me a handle, so when it's time for me to put it away, then all I have to do is pick it up with a handle, and then I can snuff out my fire. Now you're going to ask me how to snuff out the fire. Once it's if I need to stop it, I'm just going to take my can, make sure it's emptied out, and then it is snuffed out. Alright, so that's all I got to do right there. Alright, now it doesn't matter if you get a little bit of debris in there, it's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to make it the way that it is. Alright, so I hope this helped you. This will give you an alternative heat source and cooking source if you need it, if you're out by yourself in the woods, or if you just need to have, like in my case, have my cabin have a little bit of extra heat. This will raise my temperature up a little bit inside the cabin on those really, really cold days, and if the power is going out because of some kind of storm. God bless you, and remember I love you, but more importantly, God loves you. Until next time, go and encourage somebody today, because you never know whose life it might just change forever. Until next time, I'm Chaplain Cap. I am the American Wrangler. Keep those lines tight and those butts in the saddle.